Indians also drink soup, they just love it. Tomato soup, we'll make it. Sweet corn soup, we'll make it. Chicken soup, we'll make it. We will make the best of the best Indian soups. Namaste, Salam Alaikum, Sat Sri Akal. Welcome back to another session with your Vahchef at whatever.com, and today we're going to learn how to make excellent soups. I love soups especially when they are made with stocks. Whether it is tomato soup, sweet corn soup, or even chicken dumpling soup, you always have to use stock. Without stock, soups are basically useless. You can make stock vegetarian and non-vegetarian. If you're making chicken soup, you always make the chicken stock. Whatever the bones that is there, add some bay leaf, peppercorn and ginger and all that, and let it simmer for 1-2 hours and you will get a good stock. Same thing with the vegetables. Whatever leftover vegetables, trimming, some onion, crushed ginger and bay leaf and some masalas, put it all of them whole, because the stock has to be clear and fully flavorful. I have made this vegetable stock, and with this stock you can make your tomato soup or any of the vegetable soup very, very tasty. Let's go ahead and make today's, not one, two, we're going to make a couple of soups. The first soup is going to be tomato soup, and you can take the whole tomatoes, cut them into pieces, boil them and again strain, put in a blender and all that. But I have already taken the tomato puree. Just put it in a blender, take the nice red tomatoes to get that awesome color. And now in the pan, add some onion first. You don't want the butter to discolor. And also I'm going to add some garlic. In this, we're going to add a little bit of butter. Also, we're going to add Maida. This Maida will give the thickness. How do you get that nice creamy texture? By adding all-purpose flour. In the Chinese cooking, we add corn flour. In this, we're going to add Maida. And this Maida and the butter, we need to cook slightly, mild golden color. I love the cumin seed flavor. If you want, you also can add a little bit. Anyway, this is when we strain it, all of it is going to be coming out. In this, I love to add a little bit of capsicum for flavoring. Carrot, I love to add. Maida, everything is intact. And now add the tomato puree. You do not want anything to discolor there. Add this tomato puree. All you need to do is add the stock, the vegetable stock. Let this nicely boil. See, because the tomato is all raw, at least 10 minutes of slow boiling will give a very nice, and because of the all-purpose flour, the thickening. The flavor comes because of the stock. And another thing, we're going to add some flavoring salt. We get various brands, MSG, but tomato naturally has it. So for most of the soups they add, that is what when you eat in the restaurant you will get that nice flavor, that is with this MSG. If you want, you can add, otherwise you can skip it. Also in a tomato soup, add pinch of sugar based on, if your tomatoes are sour, you can add a little of sugar to bring the flavor. Main flavoring comes because of the herb basil. That is the tulsi patta. In your backyard, you will have tulsi leaf. Just get fresh ones and add. If you don't have it, add the basil leaf here. This is a dry basil powder, which I have. A little bit of pepper powder. Everything we are going to strain it at the end. But this garlic, this capsicum will give an extremely good flavor. So bring this to a nice boil. Wonderful, the nice and the thickness this soup is got. So now in this, we're going to add the cream. But with cream, you need to be careful, especially with the tomato soup, this will curdle. So mix soup and the cream in a small bowl. After that, switch off the flame. This cream also will give kind of a little bit of a nice body to the soup. If you didn't add cream like that, this whole thing will be curdled. Now you look at it, the soup is perfectly ready. We're going to strain the soup into a bowl, and what we do is, we at the hotel, when the soup is ready, we just put this in a hot bain-marie. When the order comes, we do the service with pouring a little bit of cream on top and little breadcrumb. So we're going to do it when we're going to have the soup. When the soup is ready, all we do is we put some croutons and cream on top, and we're going to do that when we serve the soup. Awesome sweet corn vegetable soup. So for this, any soup, stock is essential. So what we do is we add little sesame seed oil and cook the vegetables. And there's another way where when the soup is ready, they just mix the sesame seed oil on the top. First, add this vegetable stock. Without stock, your soup will be boring. It will not be flavorful. No matter what you try, it will never be good. I'm going to season it with a little bit of salt. I'm going to add sweet corn paste. You can buy the corn in the market. You have to, put it in the pressure cook, boil it, and then you can make a paste. Or else as we do in the hotels, we buy the sweet paste cans. So you get it in the cans, sweet corn paste, add to the stock, whether you're using the vegetable stock. And let me tell you, most of the Chinese restaurants, they use the chicken stock to make their soups. This sweet corn itself will give slight thickening, but we're going to use some corn starch, that is the white corn flour, and the slurry in the last to give the thickening. I'm going to add a little bit of sugar. Already the sweet corn has the sugar. If it is way too sweet, don't add sugar. But we need a little bit of sourness that comes because of vinegar. Flavoring salt, again the MSG, little bit. In this, add some white pepper powder. This one will coming to a boil, and then we're going to add the vegetables. People mainly add carrot and beans for the color. So chop the carrot and the beans in the small pieces and add to this. In this beans, and also I'm adding capsicum. If you want to add, you can add. So this is all. Sweet corn soup is getting ready with the stock. When the soup comes to a nice boil, so all we do is this, remove the froth. The thickening part is very easy. You have the corn flour, the white corn starch. In this, add some water. So this is what we're going to use as a thickening for the soup. But first, we're going to season this. A little bit of salt. Rest everything is added. But if you want to adjust, you have to adjust it now. Let me check. See, because of the vegetable stock, it is good. Even the chicken stock, I just love it. Everything good? The pepper is nice. In this, I think I will need little more of sugar. Check the consistency. This naturally has some thickness, but by adding little bit of cornstarch, this is going to get even more thicker. So do not make it too thick. Check. A lot of times you see in the restaurants, they serve the soup. By the time it comes onto the table, but a thin film layer will come. That is what I don't like. So this is good. Still, I think I can add little more. Now I got the thickness. For the shine and the flavor, the sesame seed oil. So little bit of sesame seed oil into the Chinese soup. This will give that nice taste that we are looking for, and the soup is all ready. Once this is served, because inside it was not looking that great, but once you serve it in the plate, you will see this beautiful soup ready. And people want to add soya sauce, the chili vinegar, whatever they can add and drink the soup. When we have the soup, little bit of spring onion will do the magic. We're going to make chicken dumpling soup. For this, I'm going to add a little bit of oil, because I'm going to add butter also later. And the chicken stock is all ready. So in this, you can add some of the spices. Of course, I have to strain this one. So in this, I'm going to add onion, some chopped ginger, garlic. You can add your own spices to this. These are all optional. You can do it directly also. I don't want my butter to burn here. So in this, I'm going to add the butter. Already the chicken stock is there. I want to get the creamy texture. So in this, I'm going to add the Maida. This Maida will be cooked till this is slightly brown. This is what will give the thickness for my soup. Let this cook. Maida gets nice, slightly golden in color. Now we're going to add the chicken stock. This has got now the creamy texture. Only because the chicken stock is nice and flavorful, this soup will be good. Now we're going to boil this, and I'm going to show you how to make the chicken dumpling. You see, all you need to do is make them in like this. So I've got the chicken paste. We do a technique, and then we do it like this. By doing like this, you get a nice dumpling shape, and these are chicken dumplings. So take chicken, just put it in a blender. If you want, you can add a little bit of egg white. Later, you make these dumplings. When the soup is getting ready, you strain all of this, add to that, and let it simmer, and these chicken dumplings will be cooked perfectly. And in the last, we're going to serve this chicken dumpling cream soup. The chicken is nice, creamy. We're going to strain it off to get the nice, perfect soup. This is nice and hot. So the chicken dumplings, whatever I made, usually these dumplings, they add it in the clear soup. That means you should be able to see the dumplings, but I just wanted to have them in my clear soup today. Do not try to mix it right now. They will all properly done, and in no time, they will be floating on top. Look at this. Add the seasoning of salt and white pepper powder. let's look at the dumplings. They are good. In this, we're going to add the cream. Once again, you don't need to do this, but the cream and the soup will get that additional thickness that we need. And look at all those dumplings floating on top. The soup is ready, and the salt, all you have to do is check the salt. And you can again put this in a hot bain-marie and serve it hot whenever it is ready. So all the 3 soups are ready. Why don't we go ahead and taste them? A good soup means it has to be served hot, piping hot. In this soup, we can add a little bit of parsley, coriander or anything. That should be good. Here, the sweet corn soup is also nice and ready. In this, add chopped spring onion. This spring onion, I love a little extra. And for the tomato soup, always cream on top just to make it look good. Herb croutons. I'm going to show you one day. All you need to do is, cut the bread into small pieces like this, and then apply a little bit butter and apply a little bit of herbs, and the more I prefer like this. All the soups are hot, and tomato soup is the favorite in India. Everybody loves this. So look at this, nice, fuming hot tomato soup with these croutons. My God, what is the second most popular soup in India? That is in the Chinese restaurants. Even on the street side vendors, they make this sweet corn vegetable soup. And as I told you, I prefer it being made with chicken stock, but you can always make it with vegetable stock. This is good. Chicken dumpling soup with nice chicken dumpling. Each one of these soups are excellent. Very easy to make. You have seen it. Every sip that you take will be vareva.